least the oil's nice and clean. So we've got the Zook up on the hoist today. We're just going to go over a few things. It was recommended with these diff gears after medium load, you've got to do an oil change. I was going to do a couple anyway, just so while they're bedding in a little bit. But that's actually not bad at all. The discolouring is because I had the assembly oil we were using. But we got a touch. Drop the socket. We got a little bit of material on there, but that's nothing I'm worried about. Like, we got fresh everything. Like, I'm happy with that. We'll clean that off. Do another couple 100 Ks and do it again, and that should be fine. We got that front oil all changed out. I've already gone ahead and done the rear. I did the rear before we went out four-wheel driving, just because I wasn't going to do an oil change out there in the front. I was able to just do sort of a light drive and then come back and change it now. So, but what I'd like to do now is go over all our bolts that go through our bushings, because what I've found in the past is where we've got powder coating, when that rubs through, not that there's much play at all in these brackets, but I've found that makes the bolts come loose really quick. So I'll just go around, give them all a nip up, double check we've got everything's tight, and that'll give it a good look over, and that'll pretty much do it. It's going to be hard to get in there. So we've gone and double checked over everything. No bolts were loose. We got fresh oil in the front and rear diffs now. I'm not going to be able to make it up, because every time I go up, it's hopping closer and closer to this bank, and I don't fancy a trail on the side of my car on the second trip out. You can see all the scratch marks where I was riding that bank. And I heard the glass hit. You can sort of see the lines in it from the bank. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's not that bad. I thought for sure if I go back and give it a good run up, it was going to trow the side of the car in. I've already done that on the other side. I pushed all this in, but Dad managed to panel beat it out. But that's the first few trips we've done. We've already got on the winch. We actually gave it a little bit of a hard time trying to get up that step, and it performed awesome. We do, however, need a bit more spring in it. We're riding the bump stops a little bit too much. I sort of knew about that in the front, because we've got a 200. We've actually it's only a 200 over 200, which is not ideal because you don't get your dual rates. But I've also, if you can see up the top, if I come over here, we've got a lot of preload on the front. That's how I was to get my ride height. So I'm thinking a 250 at the bottom and a 225, we should be pretty right. Like, the car's not heavy. The front corner weights are only 320 kilos. But once you are... I want to change up the bull bar and do a few things with the winch. So we're going to be pulling a fair bit of weight off the front of it. So yeah, that's simply why I just left these springs in. They were the first ones I bought. I actually bought them for the back, thinking a 200, a 150 on top and a 200 on the bottom for the back. But that turned out a little bit stiff for the back. Now I've got a 150 over 175, and on the road it's fine. But when you get into the bush and the whole car starts leaning, they are a little soft. So I think we're going to have to chuck a sway bar in the back. I was going to do that anyway, but not just yet. I wanted to use it for a bit. But besides the spring rate issue, it's flawless. The suspension works very well. It's quite comfy. We've gotten zero flex steer, or next to no flex steer in the back, where before, with the original suspension, when it had a 3-inch lift in it, and you'd get nearly half a turn in the steering wheel with how much flex steer it had, and it just felt crap when you're going up a hill, because the car would be literally turning as you're going up the hill. And that was one of the main things with the rear forelink. I wanted to get rid of all that together. So suspension works flawless. Haven't had any issues. Our gear ratios with the gear ratios, it's perfect when you're going in dirt and on the road, and that was a concern at the start. But the problem is when we get into our rocks, it needs more gearing. But I'm afraid if I put more gearing in it, I'm going to lose the wheel speed that we have, and that's the dilemma. I know you can get 2 sets of gear sets for the Vitara, whether we go I think it's 3 point something to 1 reduction in the transfer instead of 4.24. I can't remember the ratios off the top of my head, but whether we go with the not so much of a reduction, or we just rip the transfer case out and go a Hilux or something, because I know they've got a fair few gear ratios you can pick from. So, but that's going to do it for the Vitara build. I hope everyone enjoyed watching it, and as much as I enjoyed building it, this was my first four-wheel drive. I think I've had it for over 6 years now, and this is now version 2. So we've gone from the original IFS suspension to a Sierra front housing with a 3-inch lift throughout, and then we've ripped those diffs out, and we've got full Hilux diffs now, and 35s, which the 35s make a tremendous difference going just over bumps in the bush. Where the 31-inch tyre will drop and fall in the hole, these sort of, because of the diameter, it rolls straight over. So that was the first thing I noticed just driving into the track. It was like, you don't feel half the bumps you do, especially because there's so much rubber. But the problem with 35s on a little light car like this is the back has 3 PSI in it, and it's not even bagging out. But anyway. And also another massive gain that we've made is with the intake, because it used to run down the snorkel on this side, and it was about 2 meters from the point it got into the intake of the motor. It is like a different car now. You'd happily say it is a fast car. Well, a fast Vitara. We've got heaps more power now. It barely blows smoke, because before it used to blow a fair bit of smoke, and I just thought that's because I had about a half a turn on the fuel pump. But now that it actually breathes, you actually sink in the seat a little bit when you give it some throttle. So that was a huge gain I wasn't expecting. And yeah, it turns to 35s, no worries. I can do 4-wheel donuts with this thing, and it's pretty sick. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.